Today's headline is the Smokey Chimney. James Gray was a hard-working man, and his wife a decent woman, and each was disposed to add to the comfort of the other. But though they did all they could, they had a sad enemy to their peace, which often disturbed them. This was the Smokey Chimney, which so continually annoyed them that they were frequently as peevish as though they had a delight in provoking each other. When James came home at night and would have enjoyed his meal in a clean house and by a bright fire, he had to listen a full hour to the complaints of his wife, who declared that to sin such a smoke as she did all day long was unbearable. James thought it bad enough to endure the Smoky Chimney, but to bear at the same time a scolding from his wife for what he knew not how to avoid troubled him sadly, and many a half hour did he sit brooding over his troubles and contriving how he should cure his Smoky Chimney. One night, when the smoke was making its way in every direction except up the chimney, and James was puzzling his brain and trying to hit upon some plan to lessen the evil, a neighbor of his, a slater, popped his head in at the door. "James," said he, "you were in a pretty smother, and so you were likely to be, until you placed a slate or two at the top of your chimney, to prevent the wind from blowing down." When the slater was gone, James determined that on the morrow he would do as he was advised, and put some tiles at the top of his chimney. By the time he had made this resolution, another neighbor, a glazier, made his appearance. "Master Gray," said he, "why your chimney gets worse and worse. I tell you what, you may try 100 schemes, but none of them will do till you put a whirligig in your window. That is what you want, and you will have no peace until you get one." Away went the glazier, and James began to think about having a whirligig in his window, but was a little puzzled whether to try the whirligig or the tiles. "Hello, James," shouted a third neighbor, a bricklayer who was passing by. "Here's a pretty smother. I suppose you mean to smother us all out." "No, no," said James. "I am tormented too much with the smoke myself to wish to torment anybody else with it. Nobody knows what a trouble it is to me." "Why now," replied his neighbor, "if you will only brick up your chimney a little closer, it will be cured directly. I was plagued just in the same manner, but a few bricks put all to rights, and now I have no trouble with the chimney at all." This account set James Gray off a wool gathering once more, and whether to put slates at the top to brick up close to the bottom of the chimney, or to have a whirligig in the window, he didn't know. He mused on the matter before he went to bed, awoke 2 or 3 times in the night, and pondered it over, yet when he got up in the morning, he was as little decided as ever. Just as he was about to set off to his work, old Allen Ingram came by. Now Allen had the character of being a shrewd, sensible old man, which character he well deserved, so that he was often consulted in difficult cases. James Gray, as soon as he saw him, asked him to step in for a moment, which he willingly did. "I want your advice," said James, "about my chimney, for it's the plague of my very life, it smokes so sadly." "What have you done to it?" inquired old Allen. "Why, as to that," replied James, "I have done nothing but fret about it, for one tells me to do one thing, another another. Among 3 different opinions I'm puzzled." "There may be some sense in what they say," said old Allen, "and if I found it necessary, I would take the opinion of all 3, try them all, and see which is best." No sooner was old Allen gone than James went in search of the slater, who in an hour's time had put the slates on the chimney top. When James returned from his work at night, his wife told him that the house had not smoked quite so bad as it did before, but that still it was not cured. James then went to the glazier. He put a ventilator in the window, which many people call a whirligig. This did wonders. James then went to the bricklayer, who in the morning bricked up the chimney a little closer to make the draft quicker. When James returned, he found a clean hearth, a bright fire, a good-tempered wife, and a house clear of smoke. Old Allen called again to know how matters went on, and was much pleased to hear all was right now. "Now," said old Allen, "the next time you get into a difficulty, instead of wasting your time fretting over it, listen to the advice of others, and to act on this plan will cure 1,000 troubles." This story came from the great state of Pennsylvania, being reported in the Independent Republican of February 19th, 1857. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.